This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. And a big good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. We are returning for Season 13. And what a season it's bound to be, despite the slightly low attendance you might be seeing on the left-hand side of your timing column. We're in for a fantastic 10 races. Unfortunately, tonight has been a little bit hampered because the Netherlands decided to actually play decent football for once and get themselves into a semi-competitive match in the Euros, so that's half our grid gone, as well as Can Dulger for Turkey. We can't forget Can. But we do have 10 drivers here this evening who are looking to take the first win of the season. One driver who isn't racing this evening, but is alongside me in the commentary box, it's Mr. Nils Hartl. Nils, good to have you up here in the box. How are you keeping?
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm actually doing fine. Last week I was a bit sick, but this week is much better. And it's actually quite sad to know that I could have scored some points with the low attendance today, but I like to spend my time with you as well.
Yeah, Nils has decided to join the commentary box because he is suspended from racing. But we will not talk about that ever again. Let's get into some qualifying laps then. First of the season. Brand new cars and a slightly new circuit. It is, of course, the famous Spa-de-Francorchamps circuit that has been in Formula 1 since 1950. But it's remodelled for the F1 24 game. And Yathan Pinguru in one of the new cars. This is the Kick Sauber. He will be taking us around and in towards Lake Como. You can see there's a slight change in the chicanes in the way that is driven. This is because Spa hasn't been remodelled for some time on Formula 1 games, so it is being remodelled now, and that is why you might be seeing some differences throughout the laps of this race. And you can see Yathan having a massive slide heading through the Jackie X curve. He is not taking no prisoners through there, pushing right out to the limits. He used to be able to run along that rumble strip to the right hand side. That's now gravel, so you're not going to be able to do that. There is slightly different curbs throughout the track as well, and you can see Yatton just picking up one of those. Very slidey indeed from the German, but overall, Nils, if you've driven this track, what do you make of it? Is it any better?
It's much worse than before because the curbs are actually kind of a trap. If you touch them, they wrap instantly on the front tires or the rear tires and try to spin you out, which are quite heavy spins if you touch them in the chicanes. Like in the second sector where JetNet is a little moment there, but rather than that, the lap actually looked like it was rather clean with a 43.8. And the Ferrari set a better lap with the 42.3, showing that he had got more pace on the lap.
Here's Jake Marston coming towards the start finish line. He will beat Sam Fate. That's a 1:42, and then there goes Avesti Obadi. 41.4. That's him stretching his legs and showing his pace in that Red Bull Racing machine. His favourite car, isn't it, Niels?
Sorry?
It's Avesta's favourite car he's driving, isn't it?
Absolutely, he loves it.
Yeah, very big Red Bull fan is Avesta Gobadi. Morris Stumer going into 4th place. Here is Tim Den Higher in the Williams
We have
Racing
a
machine.
yellow in sector 1 in Rouge. I think it's just Avesta going slowly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just Avesta going slowly. Tyler Davison jumping to 2nd position. There goes Tim Den Higher.
Sauber with Julius Gassner with a 51.0. Probably not his push lap.
Yeah, Julius sliding into 8th place. He'll have another bite of the cherry, and he is actually going to get a slipstream from Avesta Gobadi. So that's what Avesta was waiting for. Is that Avesta Gobadi? It doesn't look like a Red Bull. Oh, no, it is. It is Avesta Gobadi. He'll pull over to the right-hand side and allow Julius to head through. An improvement in the first sector for Gassner, but he's got it all wrong through Lake.
Julius doesn't have enough fuel to finish the lap.
Okay, so not enough fuel for Julius to actually complete the time here, so he will have to head back to the pit box. Won't be an improvement on this time there for him. Here's the Canadian of Adrian Tishy having a massive wobble heading out of Malmedy, and that puts him in a bit of a predicament because this will not be an improvement upon his time. It seems like the yellow flags are coming thick and fast here because they're just bouncing around the top left of the screen for some reason. That is, I do apologise if you are affected by flashing lights. That's very, very annoying at the top of the timing tower. But Adrian Tishy is just continuing on his run here just to get a bit of a lap on the board. Is qualifying position as important here today, Niels, than it would be, say, in a full grid race?
With a full grid, it would be more important because you have the groups that are forming in a race. But with 10 drivers, obviously the top 3, maybe top 4 will go their separate race, then the mid pack, and then 2 or 3 drivers at the back will form the groups. So it's just a rather moment of time if the drivers actually need the qualifying, because the track will be more spread out than having more drivers on the field, and therefore well, that's interesting. Okay.
That is Julius Gassner catching me out with a mouthful of tea. But that is Julius Gassner being disqualified from the session for driving backwards. In all honesty, I don't know how he's done that, but he has done it.
He spun in the first corner, maybe. I don't know. He stood there. But that's quite a bizarre incident as Adrian spins at the exit of the chicane after the Camel Straight.
That's Adrian actually doing very well there to get out of the way of Sam's fate. He'll be thankful to hear that Sam is just on an outlap, so there'll be no impediment there. But Adrian,
the only driver currently on the lap is Nathan, and there's Martin.
Yep, so Nathan Marriott, the only man on a time. He's heading down towards the Bruxelles hairpin. And, oh, wow. Can Formula 1 cars head into that corner that quickly now? That is obscene speed from Nathan. Slight lock of the front left, but manages that nicely, gets through it okay. He will be maybe looking to try sneak on the podium here. Last season's Williams Racing driver. He's teammates with... Who's he teammates with this? He's teammates with Daniel Holland. This season, not to be confused with Man United striker Rasmus. Nathan will be looking to try and get up the order in this season's championship, maybe more so in the Drivers' Championship than the Teams' Championship, but he is very happy in that Aston Martin and will be looking to get some good results across the course of the season. Very strong middle sector for Nathan Marriott.
That lap looks really neat, could be a top 4 position. That is actually a really good lap. No problems at the exit of the corner with traction, no snaps, no irrational turn-ins on the corners. Good exit out of the bus stop. Slight problem with no... Oh. Well, it looked better than it was.
That surprised me as well. I thought that was going to be a good lap there for Nathan Marriott, but it's slightly lower than he would have liked. It is 7th position, 1.7 off the front runner of Avesta Gobadi for the time being.
It could be actually a good indicator of the new feature that we have in the game with the ES management, because he was on the distribution limit on the exit of Blanchimont, sorry. Got the corners mixed up. Through Blanchimont, he had no ERS left. Maybe that was the issue in the last couple of corners.
Yeah, could be. You can see there Jake Marsh on the hot lap button, just tinkering about that 64% mark. If you played any of the older Formula 1 games, it's kind of like that, folks, where you have your 5 modes. I couldn't list them all off here, but I know there is overtake and hot lap. Are you able to use overtake in qualifying now, Nils?
Yes. This is the actual... the hot lap will reduce ERS faster. It doesn't give you an slight... It will give you a slight advantage if you use it, but it doesn't help you as much as if you use overtake. Overtake is like you press it, you get the extra boost like in the races, like in the games before, but you have to manage it way more. You have to manage the ERS over the complete lap, because you can't just press the overtake button. You have the limit of the ERS in general, and you have to the battery as well. You have like 10 seconds of overtake push that you can use on a quality lap before you have problems at the end of the lap.
That lap was looking very nice for Jake Marsh, but he had a bit of a mistake heading through the bus stop chicane and lost all his time, so that will not be an improvement for Jake there. Let's see what Tyler Davison can do. He's improving on his time heading down towards the Jackie X curve. Let's ride on board then, heading in towards Puhan, see what the all-new Visa Cash App ORB machine can do, which we would probably just call VCarb for simplicity's sake, in towards the right-hander. It's nice enough through here for Davison, and you can see him using the curbs nicely. Bit of gravel there on the track, so someone has gone off on one of their previous hot laps. That curb a lot thinner on the left-hand side, heading through Stavelo as well. But through the curve, Paul Frere, and up towards Blanchimont, Davison is up on his time and on course to beat Avestegobadi. But I think one of the more difficult corners on this track now is the bus stop chicane. So you got to nail your braking for this, nail your turn in, and hopefully get that car flicked around nicely. You can see nice through the first one and neat through the second. This is a great lap for Tyler Davison. He's going to cross the start finish line. Oh, not a pole time.
But not enough. Not enough.
Yeah, he has to find at least another tenth of a second if he would like to beat Avestegobadi, who hasn't even come out on track again yet. So Avesta fairly confident in that 41.4. It is a good opportunity for Avesta to take a race win tonight, I think, Nils, and get his championship started the right way. He's never won a season opener here in Formula Virtual Racing.
There's always a first for everything. And it's probably his best shot. With Legend missing, Luke missing today, now he has to pounce.
Yeah, he really only has a couple of opponents here in this one. He has Tyler Davison, maybe Jake Marsh, maybe Nathan Marriott if he can hook the lap together like we saw he did earlier. And that's probably maybe Timden higher if the race rolls that way. But we will wait and see. There's 4 minutes and 43 seconds to go in qualifying. If you are a football fan, well, you've chosen to watch FVR over the football this evening, firstly, thank you, and secondly, it's still 0-0 in the Dutch and Turkey match, but I'd like to remind you that Germany got knocked out yesterday.
Okay.
Nils is German, in case you didn't know that, by the way.
Yeah, we don't talk about the game last night, but we don't talk about it.
It was still second best team in the competition, I think. But that is a conversation for the Discord server later. If you'd like to join that Discord server, of course, make sure you do so. The link is available in the YouTube description, and you're more than welcome to join, even if you just want to have a chat with some of the fabulous drivers that are on show here this evening. And I promise there will be more in future weeks. It's just football in it, as the British would say. Morris Stewart, and Nils, you might be able to answer this question. Is it Morris or is it Maurice? Maurice. Okay, so I'm the one who's been saying it wrong, not everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. Maurice Stewart. Speaking of saying things wrong, Adrian Tishy, you might have known him formerly as Adrian Taishi, because Adrian somehow put up with us for 8 seasons saying his name wrong and then corrected us. And fair play to Adrian for pulling up with that, because I wouldn't have. I would have corrected it on the first time. Liam Huisman, that's commonly debated as well. We still don't really know the answer. Don't think Liam knows the answer himself. But it is Maurice Stumer.
Liam Hausman is correct.
Yeah, let's be real. It's Liam Spinhuis.
Spinman.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of spins, Maurice almost sliding it through the first corner of La Source. As we see, he just passes the Ferrari that is exiting the pit lane down towards Eau-Rouge and Radion, which just looks unbelievably smooth on this new game. That's one thing I've noticed. It looks absolutely incredible. And Maurice just heading down the Kemmel Straight. There's a weaving Mercedes of Jake Marsh in front, who he's got to avoid, but I'm sure Jake will oblige and let him through. Slightly down in that first sector, but decent enough through the chicane.
He used a lot of the ERS heading down the Kemmel Straight, which is going to hamper him later on the lap.
Oh, bit twitchy.
Nearly guns it.
Yep, nearly into the gravel trap or the barrier for Maurice Stumer.
Now, what you can actually see in also that the drivers will stay out one more lap to recharge the battery, cool down the tires, and do another lap, because you can actually do this game, rather than the last year where you needed 2 laps to get the tires back down to working condition and the ERS back. Now you can turn off the ERS deployment, recharge it on throttle and off throttle, and cool down the tires.
Okay, that's an interesting insight. Thank you very much for that one, Nils. It's something that you couldn't do in the previous games, was go for a push, cool push. But would it be something that you might be doing when you're back on the grid?
If you're in a desperate need of time, you would probably go for it. But if you're like Legend, Avesta, Luke, or Lewis, you can actually just go back to the pits, sit there, and wait till you can go out with a really fresh new tire, rather than cool down the tires, cool down the ERS deployment, and go for next push lap. But it depends on the time left on the session as well. If you have like 1 minute left before you have to go out again, you can strategize with that. But most of the times you probably will still go for the fresher rubber.
You can see Jake Marsh just weaving onto the grass and invalidating his hot lap, actually. So Jake Marsh won't be able to complete a time here in this session unless he does get back around. No, he won't. There's only 20 seconds left. He won't. Even Tyler Davison will be pushing it close to actually get to the start finish line, because there's 15 seconds left.
Marriott is improving this time.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure Davison is going to get to the start finish line, or certainly he's going to be pushing it close.
He is
5,
getting
4,
close.
3.
He will make it. He will make it.
Yeah, he's okay. 2 seconds to go on the clock. He's pushed it close.
Nathan is up 2 tenths and goes for 5th. 42.5.
Yeah, 5th place for Nathan Marriott. Maurice is finding time as well. He's up 2.5 tenths of a second. Yafin Benguru just slightly down, but might find time in that final sector. We'll get a look at Adrian Tichy heading. Oh, he won't be improving now. That's a slight tap on the grass. Let's have a look at our top 2 then. Avesta down in the first sector, but very quick through the Lacombe chicane. The Red Bull on form so far tonight. This was his banker time that he was pushing against.
Tyler improved.
So Tyler finding time, hunting down the pole sitter.
Maurice went up to 6 with a 42.6.
Yeah, so good lap there from one V-Carb. Can the other V-Carb try and dethrone the main team in the form of Red Bull Racing?
Jetton improved by 6/10, but didn't improve his position.
And Avesta Gobadi has actually invalidated his qualifying lap, so it will all be down to Davison whether he can take the first pole of this season. Needs a very strong middle sector here. That's slightly wary. Lap time! Oh, it's an error! It's a slight error, but it's a huge save from the V-Carb. But that might be qualifying down the drain for him. He was hunting down at 1:41 by Avesta Gobadi. He's down by 2 tenths of a second.
He won't make it. He won't get 2 turns back. That's over.
Yeah, he would have to probably fly over the bus stop chicane if he would like to do it, and I think he was tracking well to do it, but just made an error. He will still have a front row start, quite crucially, because he is the last man out on track here, but might just head into the pit lane. Pushes it for the bus stop chicane. No, he's going to complete the lap anyways. See, can he find some time? But no, just there, over eager on the power, and that'll be qualifying, folks. Avesta first pole of the season.
Tim Den Heyer actually lost 4 attempts through Blanchimont. He went wide and invalidated the lap. He would have been on a good lap as well.
Okay, so Tim Den Heyer making a mistake in qualifying, but Avesta is on pole position by just over a tenth of a second ahead of the VCARB of Tyler Davis. And Sam Fate, third place, the first Welshman to ever race in Formula Virtual Racing, starting his career off well in third. Jake Marsh in fourth, Nathan Marriott in fifth, Maurice Stumer sixth. Then it is Tim Den Heyer, Yatha Maguru, Adrian Tishy and Julius Gassner, who will be lining up in 10th after a quick disqualification. On your screen now, folks, you can see the 7.0 kilometre circuit, 4.3 mile Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Nils, I think it's safe to say that it's a track that can provide overtaking opportunities.
But it can actually be a quite boring race because the drivers will sit behind and use the DRS to overtake. Most of the times it's really a DRS track where you just sit behind, wait for the DRS and pass on the camera straight and get repassed on the first straight or the camera straight again next lap. So it can produce quite interesting racing, but it can actually produce some snooze fest as well.
Well, we're going to hope not for a snooze fest here today. It's a bright and sunny Belgian Saturday evening here in the Ardennes Forest at the 7.004 kilometre 20 cornered Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's the season opener for Formula Virtual Racing here on F124 in season 13, and it is bound to be action-packed with entertainment. We have 10 great races coming up this season, but this could be a crucial one with big points on offer for drivers like Avesta, for drivers like Tyler Davis, and maybe even some of those down the grid. The drivers will be looking to just get a finish here, just get a points finish, because remember, if you finish this race, you're going to get points. There's only 10 drivers here tonight, so you will get a points finish if you do finish the race. Strategy, they'll be looking at a one-stop. We'll see how the tyre deck develops out, because a lot of these drivers may not have driven a race on this game yet, so it'll be very interesting to see how they find the tyre deck, how they manage the fuel, and more importantly, how they manage the brand new ERS system.
What can actually be interesting as well is that the Ardennes Forest is known for its rain, which is predicted in the race as well.
Oh, okay. So
I got the information out of the VCAP pit box, but the race starts now.
So rain is expected as we go racing here in Belgium. That's a great start from Avesta, who leads in towards the first corner. Big launch down the inside by Tim Den Heyer. Tim Den Heyer making a big dive on Sam Fate. He hits it and slowly slides down the order. Tim Den Heyer not getting away well. Down to 7th position. He will have positions to make up. They head in towards Eau Rouge and rally on for the first time. Julius Gassner, one of your best starters. He's up 2 spots initially, but then we head down the Kemmel Straight. The Red Bull Racing machine of Avesta is up and away at the front, and he is looking to stretch his legs. He's already down to 10% on the battery, wants to get a solid start. Jake Marsh way out of shape, heading through Lake Holm. Sam Fate got a look to attack, down towards the Bruxelles hairpin. Is the Ferrari able to make a move on the inside? No.
Tim Den Heyer around down the inside on Moritz.
That's a good move by the Dutchman. Tim Den Heyer is down the inside and gets ahead of Maurice Stumer. And that is Stumer down to 7th and Heyer remaking spaces.
Around the outside? He sticks around the outside. Good move by Maurice.
Yeah, that's a good move by the Williams Racing machine. Or sorry, by the VCARB, I should say. The Williams the one losing the position. And you can see Tim Den Heyer just hounding down the VCARB in front, looking to try and force him into some sort of error. He has got that error, heading for Stavelot, and Tim Den Heyer looking to try and just pounce down in towards the bus stop chicane. If you're a football fan, folks, unlike Tim Den Heyer and supporting Turkey, you'll be very happy. It's 1-0 to Turkey, so that's a bit of a football update for you. But you can see Tim Den Heyer is he going to go for the lunge here in towards the bus stop chicane? He might well do. Late on the brakes? No, not able to get it done.
Locks up. Interesting is to see that Tim is on the softs, Morris is on the mediums, so tire advantage for the Williams. which doesn't help that they both are fighting now for position, losing the place to Nathan as well, who can use his EAS to push out of the DRS zone.
Yep, here is Timden Hire just hounding down that V-carb up a Rouge and Radillon. He's got more grip, ideally should make this move done pretty quickly, and you can see tucked into the slipstream the V-carb in front is regenerating energy, so he's not getting full deployment on this main straight. Timden Hire goes down the inside, and that should be job done surely by the Dutchman. As he gets it done. And look at this. Look at Julius Gassner. Well. Julius Gassner around the outside. It's one for his highlights reel. Gets the job done on Maurice. That is one Red Bull ahead of one V-carb in the battle for 7th. One Red Bull ahead of one V-carb in the battle for the race lead. Great move there by the German.
And I know definitely that someone is red-headed in a V-carb. That move he will probably not like.
No, I can't imagine it getting done around the outside by Julius is ever a nice feeling. So Maurice will be looking to try and make amends on that one.
Actually, they lost the DRS already to Tim and Nathan, which doesn't help as well. Nathan is actually on a hard yellow sector 3.
It's Adrian. That is Adrian who's gone for a spin, heading for the curveball front.
Williams looks okay, so he can continue.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any major damage on board that Williams of Adrian Tishy. He'll just be looking to carry on and just get back into this race.
The fight for P1 could be interesting right now, because Tyler has more ES to his disposal, DRS, and is only 3 times behind. That is normally a good margin before the camera straight.
Here he goes, is he able to close and close on the Red Bull? Certainly a lot of gaining speed. Gobadi defends to the inside. Davison going to try hanging around the outside in towards Lacombe. He doesn't even need to, because Tyler Davison is in the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. And that's the Gobadi. We'll have to settle for second, but I'm sure he won't mind that. Still a very early point in this race.
Tim has also gone past Nathan, and Morris has passed Sauber, who has spun round. Maybe a contact there. Unsafe rejoin as well for against Adrian, but that should be a thing for the stewards.
Yeah, stewards might have to have a look at that. I'm sure the stewards will only be delighted to see the instance coming back in. That's well held, actually, by Sauber. He made a bit of an error heading for the Bruxelles hairpin. Looked like he was going to spin around again, but actually held it quite nicely. So a job well done there by Julius Gassner. Vesta Gobadi still within 3/10 of Tyler Davison. Seems like these top two are quite level on pace, but leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's what I actually predicted in this in the qualifying, that we probably see some groups forming, which happens already. P1 and P2 in our own group, then P3 and P4 level-headed as well. And then the mid-pack of Tim till Jetten, which are about 3 seconds from
Vesta! Oh my goodness me! Got way late on the brakes, seemed to lock some of his tyres and had a bit of a half spin. I thought he was a goner, but did really well to hold it, did the Ukrainian, and he will still keep within DRS of Tyler Davison in front. Is he going to burn up a bit of a battery? No, he'll still be okay. He will gain naturally within the slipstream, but that will give Tyler the race lead for at least one more lap. Remember, both of these drivers actually have one round here. Davison winning in Season 2, and then Avesta, I think, has won in the past as well. Nathan Marriott up ahead of Tim Den Hire. It's interesting to see all 3 Pirelli tyre choices on display here on the grid. Not something you usually see. You usually see very heavily favoured one way. And another thing I'm loving is that new drone camera shot. That is absolutely spectacular.
That the Hearts actually chosen in the race is quite surprising for me, because if I remember correctly, the Hearts isn't quite the tire you want to race around here, but if Nathan and Jetten plan with it and race better with it, then they are quite entitled to choose that tire.
What would you say the best strategy here so far is? Is it going for the quick tire early or holding out in the hard?
Probably the medium soft is the fastest way around here, but soft medium is also a good strategy, as Sauber takes up his first 3-second penalty. But the medium soft is probably the fastest if you start in the mid pack, So you can wait out for a safety car with the medium and react to the other cars before they can. The softs will start to lose grip around lap 6, 7, 8. So they have problems with the tire grip around that time. And the medium will have more grip and with the faster tire on the grid. The hards will last probably like 17 laps. And you could legit race the entire race with them, but it wouldn't be recommended.
It's also not legal.
Avesta goes past Tyler on the camel. Great.
Yep, he's up and ahead, and it looks like there's going to be another move here. This is going to be Tim Denhire and Nathan Marriott. Seems like there's going to be a bit of swapping and changing until at least the first pit window.
And you can see what the problem is if you lose the DRS. Morris is using all of his ERS to get back in the DRS train of Nathan and Tim. But having only 25% of ERS doesn't help him at all.
No, managing the ERS very important. Avesta slightly better on that front than Tyler. You can see on the steering wheel. Shout out to Jake Marsh as well. I think he's not raced really competitively for quite some time. He's got back to it on this game. He says he wants to do another FVR season, and he is keeping up at the front too.
He caught up with them. He dropped Sam and got back to the front as well.
Would that be maybe that the medium tires are starting to become
Adrian round again. Adrian round.
That is Adrian Tishy. There's a Voici spun through Pujon in one of the two Williamses. Him and Tim. Oh, that rhymes actually. Him and Tim partnered for this season.
We will probably see the first pit stop right now because the tires will be cooked.
Potentially.
So that could be the first pit stop. Adrian again with the yellow flag.
Oh,
yeah, the tires were not bad.
Bit of a wobble there from Avesta on the exit. He almost actually clattered into the pit wall on the outside. Jake Marsh, though, has caught up to Tyler Davison and Avesta Gobadi in very impressive fashion, and he might look to make an impact here on this one.
The medium is working better now.
Yeah, the medium tyre evidently seems to be good, but here comes Tyler Davison, going to try around the outside on the Red Bull, but Avesta breaks later than the two, and it's the first defensive move! Across the chicane goes the Red Bull, now they're side by side in towards Malmedy. Is there a bit of contact between the two? Avesta goes skating across the curb, touches the gravel, that invites Jake Marsh through. It's one Brit helping another. Davison in the race lead, Jake Marsh in second place. Avesta now falls down to third. Has Avesta made two early enemies very early on here? We'll have to wait and see, but that's a very interesting and an early start to the race win fight, I think.
As Tim Denhire actually picked up a 3-second penalty as well, but it is probably down to the grip levels right now. The soft will have lost a lot of amount of potential in the tires. With a driver that is probably driving without ABS, the rear will lock, and that was probably what happened in the chicane. As we have Morris round through the second chicane in the second sector, and you can see Tyler is struggling through Blanchimont as well. The tires are gone. To quote Lewis Hamilton, the tires are dead.
Yep, it definitely seems like the medium tyre is the way to go here, but the only thing for Jake Marsh is what tyre is he going to go on when he pits? Because it's going to have to be either the soft or the hard tyre. And can the medium really carry on?
Sam Fate, the first. Sam Fate pits. He's going for the undercut.
Yep, Sam Fate, the first man into the pit lane. Let's just quickly see what he's going for. Yep, it's set of the hard tyres, so that'll be to the end. Here comes Jake Marsh, though, trying to return to an FVR race lead. He's only won one Formula Virtual race before. That was in Portugal in season number 5, and he is up and ahead. And Avesta Gobadi is going to join them. Gobadi is going to join them in towards second place. That is now Davison, who's lost 2 spots in the main straight, as opposed to Gobadi losing 2 spots in this sector on the last trip round this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's Jake Marsh in the race lead.
Morris also in the pits, probably for front wing damage. Yeah. He will have to go to the hards.
Yeah, so hard tyres there for Maurice, and those hard tyres can easily make the end from here, can't they, Nils?
Probably. They will last, could last the 22 laps as well, but that wouldn't be allowed and it wouldn't be recommended as well.
And then what lap do we think Jake is going to pile into the pit lane at? Can he maybe go to a lap 12, 13 and then try stretch a soft tyre to the end, or is it safer to just go for the hards?
it would be safer for the hards, but it wouldn't give him the advantage that he could have with the softs at the end. To get the softs working, maybe lap 13, 14. The car will be lighter as well, so the tires will have less stress and will have less drag at the end, but probably lap 13, 14 is the way to go for him.
So the strategy game's developing nicely here, folks. If you're just joining us, you have missed some interesting battles so far, but the main event is still yet to come. It's currently Jake Marsh who is in the lead for Mercedes, and of Vestago Badi and Tyler Davison. But Jake in the lead, we think, because of that medium tyre and its benefits
Yellow
here.
flag for
Yellow flag.
Adrian
That
again.
is Adrian, unfortunately, who's tipped round for a third time. That is just on the entrance to Stavolo, heading through the campus chicane. Jake is here as well, Nils. We've seen overtakes on this main straight the last couple of laps, but Jake is starting to stretch his legs up at the front. This medium is really working nicely.
Yeah, and he's managing as ES also quite nicely. Morris around on the hards, but you can see that Vesta has to stretch his ES. He has to use more than he would like to, having to push back into the DRS, losing lots amount of time in the second sector where the tires are the most important thing, and he will nearly loses this to Pro-On as well. Adrian, I said, Tyler looks better on the tires. He looks like he has more confidence still in the tire than Vesta, who's sliding all over the place here again. Like, Vesta should pit probably now because he's losing more time than he's gaining.
Yeah, and rather ironically, it's historically not been one of Tyler's best traits is saving tyres, but we have seen Vesta make a couple of mistakes, and that spin through turn, or half spin through turn number 1, that mistake across the chicane when they were battling, so might have just used up the tyres there. I think lap 8 is a solid lap to get to on a set of the soft tyres as Vesta dives in. So Vesta has bitten the bullet and he will be into the pit lane. Let's see what tyres he goes for.
It would be a shiny new set of hards probably.
And it is going to, we can't actually see it in that camera angle. Thanks very much for that one, game. It is going to be a set of the mediums. So instead of the mediums for Vestago Badi, is that a peculiar choice for you, Nils?
I mean, it will be the faster tire for the first 5 laps or 6 laps, but he will have problems at the end.
Okay, so very interesting to see how Davison replies then. 1.7 the gap between him and Marsh. Jake Marsh probably in the better position here in this Grand Prix.
Tyler needs to pit. If he doesn't pit right now, he's losing to the undercut. The undercut is really strong around Belgium. And if he doesn't bite the bullet right now, he's losing a lot of amount of time. He may actually get in the hands of Sam Fate as well.
Oh wow, okay, so very powerful is the undercut. Remember, Sam Fate pit a couple of laps previous. He's currently 8.8 seconds behind Vestago Badi, but Vesta is pushing on this new set of medium tyres and is doing a stellar job at that. So Tyler Davison needs to come into the pit lane fairly soon if he wants to make this strategy work. Jake Marsh still soaring at the front. He is ironically like a prancing horse, but in the Mercedes is Marsh. He won his one and only FVR race for Ferrari, won his one and only FVR championship for Ferrari. That was the constructors title in season 5 where they just about pipped Aston Martin, and he's driving very, very well here. Continuing on, does Davison pull his ability? He does. Is that a good call, Nils?
Yeah, only right call. There will be fresh mediums as well, but Vesta is right behind Jetten, right on his tail, and has DRS now, can drag along the start-finish straight, as Tim also goes for the pit.
And Yathan Panguru letting Vestago Badi through pretty much. Let's see how far behind Tyler Davison comes out. Oh wow, he's going to be very far behind indeed. There's Go Badi,
yeah.
And there will be a car between them. But that does give Tyler a little bit of a buffer to work with. He goes for the medium tyres as well. Is that just his hand kind of being forced, Nils?
Not really. Now it's the time for the mediums where they will comfortably be at best at the end as well. You can see actually that Jetten isn't driving in the slipstream of Vesta. He has no... He doesn't even want to fight with Vesta, saving his tires to go on the soft at the end. don't get in the way of the fast cars to save his race as well. He's racing with Tim, not Vesta, not Tyler, so he won't be an issue for Tyler as well.
Yeah, probably going to let the quicker drivers through. A good showing of sportsmanship there from Yathaman Guru. He knows he's in a different fight, so there is no point fighting with that. Tyler is clawing in on Yathaman Guru as well, about 3/10 through Puhan alone, and that might just be the tyre discrepancy. Fresh mediums versus 9-lap all hards. There's usually only one winner in a situation like that. Jake Marsh now has a 14-second lead, but that is over Nathan Marriott, not over Avesta Gobadi. Avesta is actually gaining on Nathan Marriott, so the undercutter's working well here. But Jake is in.
Hitting already, but that's interesting.
That's an early stop for him. Surely these softs are not going to be able to make it to the end. It has to be the hards.
He will go for hards. He go for the hards, and that's a big mistake. That's a really big mistake.
Oh, is that a slow stop? No, he is back out. Surely now the pendulum has just swung, because it was looking like it was Jake Marsh's race to lose. He's now going to be on statistically worse tyres until the end of this race, but you can see him exiting the pit lane. He's actually ahead of Tyler Davison, or is he? Davison pushing on the exit of the pit lane, and Yafa Paguru is going to get in the way big time here. Is Tyler able to go for it? Has to slot in behind the Sauber, heading up Rouge and Radion. Now he'll slingshot off the back of it and get the job done. Jake Marsh needs to go past the Sauber here as well. It's 3 cars dicing down the famous Kemmel Straight. Avesta Gobadi is into the race lead ahead of Nathan Marriott, and you can see the V-Carb just stays ahead of the Mercedes, because Jake has not got those tyres up to temperature yet. Remember, folks, no tyre blankets still.
That was a big mistake by Jack. The hards will not be on par with the mediums. He has thrown away maybe a race win with that strategy.
So are you saying he should have gone long on the medium and then go for a soft?
He should have gone long for the softs and then get back on the tail of the leading cars. He would have more pace than with the hards now. The hards will not be on par with the mediums. No chance.
The only thing is, he had the experience on the medium compounded tyre. When he got to lap 10, maybe he saw the tyre wear on it and he's like, okay, Vesta and Tyler are not going to be able to go that far on the medium, and he's pit early. That could be the only saving grace for him, but it's not looking good for him for the time being. It's looking very good if you are a fan of the fabulous Avesta Gobadi. Timothy Higher picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. The only thing about Avesta here is, every single corner he looks like he can make a mistake through it. That car is all over the shop. But it's quick.
It's quick, but it's really on the edge. He could lose it in any moment, and that's one thing which gonna kill the tires as well. Having a car that is really on the edge, overdriving the car as well, you have more degradation on the tires, more tire wear as well. The tires will be warmer. If you spin, you are literally out of the contention for a race win.
Here is the teammates from the FVR GT Championship who are going to swap positions here. The GT Championship will be returning soon, folks, so keep your eyes on that. It was a fabulous season won by the very fabulous Rami Assam and Speed Demons Racing. So, really good season. We're going to do some very creative stuff in the GT Championship, and you're going to want to race in it, folks, or spectate it. We had a fabulous casting crew with... why is his name? Maxime Glushko. I don't know why his name escaped me. He's a very nice bloke who I do talk to. And Carlet Diamazion as well for a couple of races. The Veloce Esports driver.
Jack has catched up with Nathan, who's still on the hards, as Jetton as well. So they both will pit around lap 14, 13, 15, right around that time to go for the softs.
Yeah, that would be a good call, to go for the softs and be quick in the late stage of the race. The only thing is, they are losing a lot of time currently. Would it not be better maybe to go for a medium and sort of not lose as much initially, but still have good tyres towards the end of the race?
So you gain about 1.2, 1.3 seconds of time with the softs. But if you pit now, you're still right around the same gap that you would have to catch up as well. Like 4.5, 4.8 seconds behind Tim. They have a huge amount of pop-up for Sauber, so there wouldn't be any problems with that. As we have another spin. which is actually Julius at the moment. Jack going through Nathan, going for the third position. But Jet and Nathan probably will race to the 15th and 14th lap as well. Maybe waiting for a safety car to save the stop as late as possible, because they will have more pace on the softs. The medium wouldn't be the best shout for them at the moment, because they wouldn't have the pace that advantage that they have with the softs as well.
Yeah, lap 13 out of the 22 here in the FVR Season 13 season opener. Still all 10 runners in this Grand Prix. We've had no DNFs, we've had no safety cars, which bodes nicely for a nice continuation to the end of this race. 2.6 is the gap between Avesta Gobadi and Tyler Davison. That one lap undercut is going to pay out nicely for Avesta if he can continue this strong pace and managing his tyres to the end of this Grand Prix. Tyler 1 lap fresher, Jake 2 lap fresher, but on a harder compound, so he will be fine until the end of this race. There's absolutely no doubts about that. It's just a question whether Avesta and Tyler can keep their tyres fresh to not allow Jake Marsh to catch that 2.8 second gap. Nathan Marriott not into the pit lane, but currently running 4th. Yafin Panguru not into the pit lane, currently running 5th. We expect Sam Fate to maybe jump up a couple of spots there, as well as Timden Hire, who's running in 7th. That's Maurice Stumer, 41 seconds back in 8th, and Julius Gassner and Adrian Tishy. The bottom 3 there all having separate issues throughout this race. Sam Fate just running for the bus stop chicane, probably disappointed that there's no pitters in front of him, but the Welshman is still on course for some good points and a solid points finish. 2.7 now, the gap up the front. It's looking good for Avesta.
It's actually looking quite interesting if you watch the sky as well. It's getting quite dark right now. It was sunny before at the start of the race, but it's getting quite cloudy as well. So maybe the hard tires of Nathan and Jet will be driven until the rain starts. If there will be rain.
The only thing is, if the fact Jake has gone for the hards and the fact other drivers are preparing for the end of the race would make me think that there's not much rain coming, and they think slicks can do it until the end of the race.
It's gonna be quite a battle with the slicks on this track, because you can have one part of the circuit dry, one part of the circuit wet as well, because it's a long track. You have many elevation changes as well, so you have one part of the track, like the first and half of the second sector, being completely dry, and having the lighter part of the sector of the track being completely drenched in full wet conditions maybe. So you have that aspect as well. As well as that, if you, with the longer track, with the more longer circuit as well, you have a better chance pitting one lap earlier for Inters maybe, because you get a wetter track on the lap where you can warm up the tires, while our dry runners will have problems with their traction. That's a strategic point that the drivers have to look into as well.
The V-Carb in second place has started getting the hammer down a bit. 2.1 now, the gap was 1.9 entering the Kemmel Straight. Avesta is significantly better on the ERS front, but there's no point saving your ERS if you're in second and not close to the car in front. So Davison wants this one. He's not settling for second place. We all know his ultimate goal is to win a championship in this series, and he needs to win races to do so. Was in championship contention in season 12, got the longest podium streak successfully in Formula Virtual Racing history, but he didn't win a race, and that kind of cost him in the long run when he wasn't able to keep up with Legend Rosenberg and Luke Davies, who did win races. Legend won a race, would you believe it? But Luke won in Saudi Arabia as well, unfortunately just beating Leroy Van Schendel, who lost out on a penalty count. Leroy's one and only FVR race win, well, that came here around Spa-Francorchamps, but he is currently debating whether Ronald Koeman should play a 4-4-2. That's Leroy's plans for the evening. The cloud cover is appearing over Spa-Francorchamps, Nils. You might have been onto something.
But it's getting darker and darker with the laps going by.
And if you were to put Avesta and Tyler side by side in wet running and asked me to pick who I think the wet weather driver is, I would say it's Tyler Davison.
In the past seasons, maybe. I don't know right now, but in the past seasons, I would go with Tyler as well. Even though we have the classic of the Silverstone GP where I made my debut with Avesta coming back from
Oh yeah, good
the back
point.
of the grid, where he won at the end. But yeah, Tyler probably with the past experience with web driving. Yeah, he would be my favorite as well if it rains.
Nils Hartl scoring a podium on his debut in that race as well, by the way. Just thought I'd give you a shout out because most of the co-commentators don't give Nils a shout out. Hope you keep him well, Mr. Kyle Davison. But lap 16 out of 22 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. There is a couple of schisms being created around the field, but the battles are still raging on. Still no pit for Nathan and Yatham. Would they be holding out for the rain potentially?
Yeah, I think that's the strategy for those two. They would probably try to go to the end as long as possible for a potential downfall through the ends. We have Adrian being the first lapped car of the season. Vesta has lapped him right now. Tyler will lap him right before the bus stop chicane.
Very unfortunate there for Adrian to go a lap down. That's not really how you want to start your season.
And Vesta actually used a lot of EAS to get past Adrian right now.
Adrian does, of course, have to get out of the way. Blue flag obligations is required as Nathan is in, so he's into the pit lane to go for a set of the soft compounded tyres. Yathan Pagura does not follow, so Nathan is going to get the undercut in this hour.
Yeah. I think Nathan actually just committed to a safer option to go for the softs than rather than stay out as long as possible for a potential downfall, because the clouds are dark, but I don't think we get rain in time for the intermediates. While we have an interesting development at the front, because I think Avesta has cooked his tires again. He's sliding a lot again.
Yes, and the timing is suggesting that as well. Tyler Davison is now within 1.4 seconds of the Ukrainian race leader. That is going to be Maurice Stumer, who is round. Oh no, sorry, it's not actually. It's Julius Gasner who has gone round. It is the other lead teammate of the lead car that is gone round heading through the campus chicane. 1.3 now the gap between Tyler Davison and Avesta Gopadi. I'm going to do a little bit of investigative journalism here. Tyler streams his races. I'm going to see, can I try see what tyre air he's on, and oh, if he pushes it and gets the hammer down in through the bus stop chicane, he could be within the DRS here, Niels.
Yeah. He probably gonna get it for the chemistrate, because he can use EAS right now. He will get a new boost for the lap, and he is in it.
Well, this is very interesting. It was looking
and
like it was
an opposite lock for Avesta. He is under pressure right now. His tires are giving up, and he has the V car of Tyler behind him. Not a nice situation to be in.
Avesta Gopadi is feeling the pressure from behind. Here comes Tyler Davison, tucked into the slipstream of the Red Bull racing car in front. Surely at this point he's just got to stay behind and try wait as long as he can, because if you go for the... Well, actually, now that I say that, if Tyler overtook Avesta, he might be able to even pull a gap, because Avesta is significantly struggling on these tyres.
But he could sit behind and use the DRS for the advantage to actually let him drag around the circuit. But,
yeah, Tyler would have to be a second quicker in this middle sector, I think, if he wanted to realistically do that, because you're not going to do it in the first and third.
I think we may see the first overtake in lap 19, maybe from Tyler, just to get in Avesta's head, but he will probably leave it as late as possible. Lap 22, the last lap on the chemistrate, probably we will see the overtake for the lead.
Well, the white front wing is all over the wing mirrors, I should say, of the Red Bull, and he is starting to apply that pressure a little bit more. Now within 0.3 of a second of the race leader, heading in towards the bus stop chicane. We need to keep an eye for sprinkles of rain as well. In terms of the battery, Tyler has regenerated his very quickly and is now level on par with Avestigobadi. Everything is pointing in the right direction for the second place man. A little bit wide there for Davison, but that's alright. He'll hook the car in, tuck into the slipstream and bolt out of the exit. Avesta not necessarily burning the overtake button, but he is utilising some of that ERS battery deployment just to try and stay ahead of the fellow Red Bull power-trained V-Carb behind. Here comes Tyler Davison into this slipstream. Is he able to get up and ahead of Gobadi? He's gaining. Avesta goes defensive. Davison goes for the outside, brakes at a normal braking point, but does chuck Avesta offline, so he is slowly getting within the head of Avesta Gobadi. This is a high-speed game of chess at this point.
He's playing mind games with him. He's showing himself in the mirrors, showing himself alongside Avesta having a snap again right here. He's showing him that he could easily get past him, but he doesn't do it, to give him more a level-headed advantage, giving him more advantage in the mind games as well. If we have... Who's it around?
I think it's one of the back markers, is it? Julius, yeah, it's Julius. But Tim Denhire went on the grass, heading through down the Kemmel Straight to try and get past Sam Fate, but Sam Fate persevered and stays ahead of the Williams. Gotta say, this is a really impressive showing from Sam Fate. Unfortunately, I do think he is a goner because Tim has way better tyres. Another man who unfortunately is out of this race win battle is Jake Marsh, who he was looking so strong at the front, but still a solid podium there for him. 0.2 of a second now for the first time between the Red Bull and the V-Carb.
Yeah, he's got Avesta going deep as well. Not a good exit, probably. Yeah, a little snap after the exit. Which is actually interesting to see as well that Nathan has catched up. He is right on the back of the Sam Fate and Tim. He will gain the positions as well because of the time penalties from Sam Fate and Tim. So we have Nathan potentially on 4th place.
Yeah, which is a great result for Nathan, I think, because he looked to be struggling in qualifying just that tad. But we will await and see. Lap 20 out of 22. Is Davison going to bite the cherry for the first time? He is. He's got drastic overspeed, and the slightly lighter blue sponsored Red Bull car will go ahead of Avesta Gobadi for the first time. What Tyler's hoping occurs then is that Avesta has to slingshot back past on lap 21, and then Davison can go for it once again on the final lap of this race. It is still undecided in the season opener here for FVR season 13.
But you can see that Avesta is struggling. He lost 2 attempts through the complex of the Jackie X corner and the corner before it. He's lost 2 attempts there, and he has to push his ERS to gain time back. That's a lost battle if he goes for the move on in lap 21. Sorry. As Tim and Sam Fate battle it out, but it's actually not that serious of a battle because Sam has less time penalties than Tim has. Tim has 9 seconds in total. Sam has 3, and Nathan can just sit behind and watch the fight before him and just wait till the end of the race.
Yep, Nathan is just waiting like a snake in the grass, hoping that there is an incident in front of him that he can capitalise on. Lap 21 then for the 2 race leaders, and the mind games are starting. Will Avesta even have a choice of staying behind Tyler Davison? I can imagine you want to be in 2nd place going on the last lap here, but that is all to be decided. Heading down towards Eau Rouge and Rathillon for the first time, or for the 21st time, I should say, not for the first time.
He will go for the move. He's too close. He can't sit behind. If he sits behind, he loses more time. As Nathan picks up a time penalty. Now we have a fight for P4 as well.
And Avesta is staying behind. He's lifting off the loud pedal, and he is going to stay behind Tyler Davison, meaning Tyler's going to have to go all elbows out from this point onwards. Nathan Marriott now kicks into gear as Tim is into the pit lane. Tim Denhire is into the pit lane.
He's going for a fastest lap.
Okay, that's probably a smart choice because he feels he wasn't going to get that spot anyways, so he's going for a fastest lap attempt. That now puts Nathan Marriott ahead of Sam Fate comfortably, so Nathan will still get that spot.
Jetten is actually also
Hold on a second here, Niels. Tyler Davison has gone for it. He's now 7/10 ahead of Avesta Gobadi. Is this a really big mistake by the Ukrainian, who just went for the status quo of staying behind, heading on towards the last lap of the race? But the Brit has gone for it. Oh, but he's wobbly. He's really wobbly for the campus chicane.
He's on the edge. He's on the edge. He's pushing all he got. 8 times now. Avesta needs to push his ES, which he's doing right now, but it's way too late. 8 times, he won't catch back up.
This is extremely impressive. You can see Avesta slowly closing in on the straight line. I think Avesta does have that tad bit more straight line speed anyways, and look how late these two are braking into the bus stop chicane on fairly dead tyres. That is a huge margin gained by Gobadi, but he has a wobble out of the bus stop chicane. It's the last lap of the season opener and the first race here in the new Formula 1 24 game. And I tell you what, it's an absolute nail-biter. Tyler Davison has got the better exit out of La Source. He's got a much better exit out of La Source. And Avesta Gobadi is going to struggle to catch up here. He needs to use everything that this Red Bull has.
Tyler has no ES.
The V-Carbon front has run out of ERS. Gobadi has got to use everything he's got here. It's elbows out from the car in front. Both aware of this situation. Gobadi to the outside. Davison's going to drag him all the way over to the grass. But it is Avesta Gobadi who leads the Grand Prix in the final lap, heading into Lake Home.
He needs to keep it on the track now.
Yep, now he's got to manage the tyres home. We know there's going to be a move from somewhere else from Davison behind. That's what he has become so infamous for in his career. He can pull moves out of nowhere. Gobadi will be more aware of that than we are. But Avesta needs to keep his car on the surface and make sure that there is no errors. In towards Puhan, a touch on the grass for Davison. That could cost him. He's lost a little bit of time.
If he goes for a move from 4 attempts back, he will cause an accident. There's no way he can move him back now.
Needs the slipstream. He's built a bit of battery. He's built a bit of battery back up in the tank here, but Avesta has just as much to use. Heading through the Curve Paul Frere for the final time and down towards Blanchimont. These two are going to go for it hammer and tong here. That gap is closing, but it's going to have to be a lunge of all lunges for the V-Carb to take it, and I'm not sure he's close enough here. He's going to have to go last at the late breakers well and truly looks for it, but it won't be on. Gobadi will survive, and heading in towards the bus stop chicane, it's going to be a fabulous win for Avesta Gobadi, and the first of season 13. It's a 10th career victory for the Ukrainian, who starts off his season on the perfect foot for Red Bull Racing. Davison in second, followed by Marsh in third. Wow, that was a fantastic end to the race.
Nathan with a quiet but a solid drive to P4, as well as Jetten, quite impressive drive to P6 from 8th on the grid. Great strategy call by those two.
Yep, gotta hand it to Yevon. Very good race by him.
Sam Thwaite with a good debut race as well. Slight not the best strategy doing there with the hearts, but a good and a clean first race of the season. Tim won't get the fastest lap. He made a mistake on the last corner. As Morris and Adrian is through already, okay. So, Julius and Norris need to finish the race now. But Sauber picking up 1 point, which probably will be his only points at the end of the season, but...
Oh no! But that is fabulous by the top two, and actually I think that could be one of the first times in FVR history where the season opener has had a full consecutive, every driver finishing is what I was trying to say. It's been a while since we've had a non-DNF. Oh, look at that, Nils. It started to rain.
Ah, there it is. Way too late.
Yep, just as we finished the race, it started to rain. What an ending to the Grand Prix that would have been. But here is Avesta Gobadi standing on top of an FVR podium for a 10th time in his career.
Luke O'Reilly calling it that's a championship to lose after one race. Interesting.
Who called it Avesta Championship?
Luke called the race or the championship already Avesta's to lose.
That's Luke trying to. That's Luke trying to put the pressure on. That's Luke playing mind
Uh,
games.
and I see already the waiting room is full of people with one person that shouldn't be in there.
Well, we'll hear from those drivers, but here is your full consortium of results. Avestico Badi takes the race win ahead of Tyler Davison in second, Jake Marsh in third, Nathan in fourth, Sam Fate in fifth, Yafin Paguru in sixth, Tim Dunhire in seventh, Morris Stuber in eighth, Adrian Tishy in ninth, and then Julius Gassner in 10th position. And guess what, folks? You won't believe this. I remembered to make the interview graphic for this season. It doesn't say last season. Let's bring in your podium drivers. Avesta, hello, can you hear us? How has we managed to get in here? Avesta, hello, can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can.
Going on on the penultimate lap, you see Tyler going for it. He pulls an 0.8 of a second gap. Did you expect to win the race from that point?
Well, yeah, to be honest, it was 50-50 because I don't know why, but I thought the setup that I chose was pretty good in the middle sector, so I could catch up to everyone, especially in the qualifying. Middle sector was, I think I got purple there by quite a bit at the time. So I built a setup mostly for that, but not much practice went into it, and I had a lot of understeer when the tires were above like 30%, both softs and mediums. So it was a bit of a push because I knew either he would push a lot with the ERS or just save it for the final lap for the DRS fight. So then I saw him saving before Eau Rouge, so I knew he was gonna push in the final sector, the long straight in before bus stop. So I tried to push also, but when I saw him flashing, I thought he would just push in the last lap, not give me the DRS easily and save ERS for the last turn. So that surprised me. And after that, I just knew I could win the race because catching up in the middle sector with the setup I had was quite optimistic, to be honest. But it was a good battle with Tyler and both Jake.
Being the first race winner of the season, this is kind of an obvious question, but can you repeat this? Can you maybe fight for a championship?
Well, yeah, this question was asked a bit too much, and the answer was yes, but then I couldn't win any single championship due to not being able to participate in a couple of races of the season. Hopefully this season I can maybe like race 80 or 90% of the races. It depends also on the luck in the practice, because with this new game, everything is completely different. Whatever we practice for the previous games is just it doesn't make sense anymore, because with this game it's a complete new philosophy and physics in this game. Also depends on how Tyler, Luke, Legend, Jake, and everyone practice and how they build a setup that suits this game a lot. So it all depends on them rather than me, and also me rather than them. It's really hard to say at the moment because not many also race today, so I don't know everyone's pace. But we'll try. We'll try. Hopefully win it again for Red Bull.
Oh, that hurt you to say, didn't it? That definitely hurt him to say. Niels, any questions for Avesta?
Would you have to consider the hard tires as well, because you kind of your rear end looked quite loose on a way in the chicane after the camera straight as well, and you looked like you could lose the car at any point because the car looked like it was driving on thin ice, or it looked like you had much more tire drag than other drivers in the grid. Did you consider a different strategy, or did you go for the soft medium from the get-go?
Well, I think looking back at it right now with the setup that I had currently, probably yes, because as you said, I had my rear was loosey-goosey everywhere, to be honest. And then in the middle of the apex, I just had no front end. I had just pure understeer and then exit oversteer. The setup was really badly balanced. It felt good in time trial, but yeah, I don't know. I have to look into it and practice a lot more with different setups, because I only had one day to practice. I only did like a couple of time trial laps, but time trial and Grand Prix mode is very different. So I'll take that into consideration, and for the next races, probably won't undercut anymore.
Okay.
Avesta, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll hear from you at some point later this season.
For sure. Thank you so much.
On to the second place man, then Tyler Davis. And Tyler, after Avesta undercut you, it looked like he had the race comfortably, but you got the head down, started to push on, and made that very intriguing. Where did you find that sudden pace from?
Well, I've been doing some research today, watching some race, and there was a strong performance from Storm Stacey I wanted to take influence from. So I just went for it, to be honest.
Just
Look,
to
I'm
clarify
very
to the people watching who have no idea who he is, he's a British superbikes rider.
yeah. So I just thought, I'm just gonna absolutely send it. Look, as I say, I didn't have the game until yesterday. So, I mean, Avesta can complain about not having limited practice and whatnot, but I had about 30 hours to prepare for this race in total. So, yeah, I'm happy. I don't really know where the pace came from, to be honest, but I pushed, I tried. Wasn't to be, but we'll move.
You are, of course, one of AlphaTauri's loyalists in FVR. Do you like the new livery?
I do. I want the name back. I want the AlphaTauri name back, but I think the livery is quite nice.
And then, in terms of races this season, then are you just going to go for it in every single one, or is there any long ambitions?
Well, I tried to put a long ambitions last season. I mean, I got 72 podiums in a row or something, but it didn't turn out to be. So I feel like different mindset this year. I think I'm just going to go and try and pretty much win as many races as I can, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like today could have gone different. As I say, very new to the game, didn't really understand how powerful DRS, ERS is, etc., etc. on it. So learning curve today, but I mean the pace is very, very good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can carry that forward and then see where it takes me.
Tyler, thank you very much for the interview. Greatly appreciated, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you, sir. Fingers crossed.
Jake Marston in third place returns to the podium. Not a name maybe that some people at home might have expected to end up on the podium today, but Jake, that was a very steady performance. How do you think of that?
Yeah, it was okay. I was not expecting to finish the race based on the limited practice that I did, to be honest. So I maybe could have pushed for the win on the hards in the end, but I was losing it every time I tried to push. So I ended up kind of just backing off and accepting that third is a good start to the season. But it wasn't bad. I felt the raw pace was there, but I just couldn't ever get the tires in the window. I was just running the first time tire setup I used, so I knew that there was no way I could do a soft medium and without the tires overheating and dying. So that's why I went for the medium hard. I was positively surprised in the first and like what the pace was. And then it just never really was the same on the hards. Every time I tried to push, it just went wrong. And then I made a couple of rear lockups into the first corner when I was getting quite close to their catching up, and they completely ruined not just my momentum but also like the ERS I was using. So I had to waste a lot. So I think it's a positive start for the season, and definitely finishing is something I'm proud of.
Your last podium in FVR came around this same track, Spa-Francorchamps, in season 10. Is it a track you're a fan of?
It is a track I'm a fan of. Yeah. It's I don't know. I like the undulation of the track. It's very different on this game. It reminds me of like the builds on other games with like sports cars and stuff. But I like it. It's good.
Nils, any questions for Jake?
Oh, not really. He explained why he got in for the hearts, which I didn't understand in the commentator box until now. But maybe with more practice and better setups, could you maybe go for a title charge as well, or do you consider yourself maybe to the top half of the field, the best of the rest?
I think
Going
the title
forward?
is going to be ambitious this year. Yeah. But I'd like to win a race by the end of the year. I feel that if I want to keep working on the pace. That's the main thing, and take it race by race. But every time, hopefully, I can do the majority of races this season. So every time I can, I want to be trying to be in the mix every single time and work slowly. So we'll see.
I thought Jake was going to bang out the Sean Dyche clip where he goes, title charge, get in! But no, not quite that level. Jake, thank you very much for joining us, and we do hope that you can race almost every race and take that race win.
Thank you.
Well, that is unfortunately all have time for here tonight on Formula Virtual Racing, folks. Nils, I think from panicking 5 minutes before the stream that my game hasn't updated, my mic wasn't working, I think that turned out to be very successful.
Well, it was quite interesting, and we didn't get a snooze fest as I predicted at the start of the race, so it was quite an interesting race with the two at the front.
It was a very intriguing one, folks, and we do hope you join us next week where we have more fabulous FVR action. Make sure to check out all our social channels as well to check out all the best social media content from FVR ahead of next week's endeavour around Monza, a traditional round 2 track, and it'll be very interesting to see can some of the drivers repeat their previous success there. Both Tyler and Avesta have won races around Monza, and you know who is going to be returning as well. So it is going to be a big week if all the virtual racing, folks, and we do hope you join us again. But for the time being, stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.